Greetings. The Ten Commandments, going back some 3,000 years, are a tight and persistent summary of how humans can effectively live. That is, staying alive, prospering, and satisfied in this universe, on this planet that God created. Accepting them places us at least within the boundaries of the Mosaic Covenant. That's the sacred agreement between God and Moses. Christians have a further covenant with God through Christ. That does not negate nor supersede this covenant. This is the Practicing Christian, and this week's report is on Commandment 1. You shall have no other gods before me, is a directive for us to understand that this universe is a unitary system. The oft-stated opinion that all people should worship whatever gods they wish is a thoughtless and rather childish statement that presumes that an almost infinite set of godlets could be credited with creating either the whole thing or bits and pieces of the universe here and there. No. The universe is a unitary system. There are not various regions of it with different elements, different physics of gravity, different speeds of light, etc., created by Wotan, Baal, or other sundry godlets. Directing us to avoid these alternative worlds that don't exist, along with spiritual beings similarly unendowed, is simply telling us to get on with the universe as God has created it and not speculate on alternative or parallel universes that can go nowhere beyond speculation. This does not, however, keep us from a cheerful expectation of a God-renewed world, the resurrection kingdom, already here in part, but mostly still to come, which was inaugurated by Jesus some 2,000 years ago. For that world, set to rights, as N.T. Wright puts it, is being created by the living Word, which is the Christ, that element of our one Trinitarian God, Yahweh, his name as told to Moses in Exodus 3. So, speculating on imaginary gods is a total waste of time. But following other religions who may incorrectly claim to be worshiping the one God, Yahweh, is another issue. Those could get us on the wrong track. If we follow a deistic God, for example, who sits back after creating the world and does little or nothing, we may miss the opportunities that the gospel and the work of the Spirit of God makes available to his kingdom people, and to live a more well-developed and godly life. That's pretty close to the limited God that a Unitarian, rather than a Trinitarian, point of view can instill in us. Whatever we may wish to do to achieve a greater godliness of life through such limited faiths is on our shoulders alone. We have neither accountability to a living Christ in these, nor the spiritual power given us by the Spirit. Our God is the only game in town. This command also has built into itself a positive set of actions. It presumes that we all will have some group of understandings, property, people, other beings, investments, and so on that we pay attention to and act in response to. God doesn't say, get rid of all these things, but he does insist that we put him first, ahead of all the other interests we have. If your boss wants you to lie, your country wants you to kill, and your kids want you to spend your money on them, ask yourself, is this good for them or for me? Above all, ask yourself, is this in the will of God? We may never know exactly what that will is in all sorts of human situations, but our knowledge of God through Christ gives us a pretty close idea of what it means to put God first. No other gods before me is the phrase, and the Spirit of God powers us up to do that. Fear, love, and trust in God above all things is the way Martin Luther put this. We may hear or tell ourselves, follow your heart, or you can be whatever you want to be. Uncle Sam wants you, and so on. But the first commandment isn't the same as the First Amendment. We Christians find our freedom in obedience to God, not from the Constitution, but in obedience to God, not in a human declaration that we can worship or follow any old image or whim. And that includes the false god of self-worship. I did it my way. You know who sang that? Sin is not performing an item on a list of bad actions. It's simply the placing of myself, my needs, my wants, my will at the center of my universe. Keep your focus on the original power in the universe, which we read in John 1:1-5. The power that formed you and that can give you a bolder life and a brighter tomorrow than any other. Serve then, be the king's right arm,